So hello everybody and welcome to today's pop-up training. I do this pop-up training sessions just as a way to reach out to you all and just continue to share information with you regarding cybersecurity, audit, and compliance. So our topic today, guys, is the myths that are stopping you from a six-figure cybersecurity career. You may not know it, but you may believe some of these things that are keeping you from that six-figure salary. And everybody talks about six-figure salaries. The reality is like it's not just the number. That's the way I really think about it. It's not just the number, oh, because I want to make six figures. It's you're thinking about closing that wealth gap, right? Everyone on here has a goal for themselves, for their families, and the reality is things cost money. So when we're talking about six-figure salaries, it's not just because you want to say I make six figures. Personalize that, right? I want you to think about from a personal level, what does that do for you? What does that do for your family? How does that make you more present? How does that make you, afford things that maybe you couldn't before? And so when you're hearing this number, it's not a vanity number, just so that you can say, oh, I make six figures. It's about making that change in your life. And the reason that I say that is because the biggest problem people have with, moving into cybersecurity audit and compliance or even making a higher salary, it's actually not the job itself. It's actually not what they don't have. It's actually their mindset. If you've ever joined my workshop, one of the topics that I cover is mindset. I always say if your mindset has not shifted, right, to having to knowing what's possible, to believing what's possible for you in your career, it's going to be very hard, pretty hard, right, for you to make the shift. Because in order for you to be able to take the steps and make the changes in your life, right, that would require you or help you make that six-figure salary or move into cybersecurity audit and compliance, you have to believe it. You have to know that it's possible, right? Because if you don't believe it, then you're going to self-sabotage. Instead of doing what you're supposed to do on this side, right? You'll be doing the complete opposite, and then you'll be wondering why you're not seeing results. So it's absolutely important to make sure that you shift your mindset. And that's what I want to do on this call today. I want to cover some myths, and I know I said three, but we're going to cover a few more. We're going to cover a few more because I want you to know that these things might be keeping you from your cybersecurity audit and compliance career. And I want to make sure that hopefully after the end of this call, that you now see what's possible, right? And then you can go from there. Okay, so the topic today, and in my email, I said three, but I added one more as a bonus. What are the myths keeping you from a six-figure cybersecurity career? So that's what we're going to cover today, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. And here's the first myth: certifications or nothing. People feel, and this is something that's very, very common in the IT field. People feel that if you don't have all the certs, all the certifications, you cannot get into cybersecurity audit and compliance. If that's you, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Don't worry. This is a safe space. If you're one of those people that feel that, yes, Mortuary is raising a hand, or you can just type yes, or me, type me. That is so not true, guys. Right now, this is about getting started. This is about, have you guys ever noticed that with a lot of these certifications, they ask for work experience? Have you guys noticed that? That with even when you take the exam for the certification or you're about to apply, CISSP, CISA, they ask you for work experience. So that's kind of like a chicken and the egg problem, right? Because you're saying you need the certifications to get the experience, and then they are also asking you for experience to get the certification. So if you think about that, you're like, well, how will I get started if the certification is asking for experience and I need the certification for the job? That's not true, guys. Okay. So that first myth that you need to have all the IT certifications to get in cybersecurity, whether it's CISA, CISSP, Systems, Security Plus, Cisco, whatever it is, that's not true. Okay. I was telling you, I showed you just a few minutes ago that I have quite a few certifications. But when I got started, I had zero, zero certifications. I started at the entry level and I got my CISA. I think I passed my CISA 1 year after I started at KPMG because I started right out of my master's program with KPMG. They trained me. About a year afterwards, I took my exam and then I had to wait another 3 years to get the actual CISA certification because that's what's required. But I was already working as an auditor before I even took the exam. Okay, so it's not required. Now, if you're trying to transfer, right, from another field, so I want to, so let me say this to make sure people understand this. Am I saying that no to certifications? Am I saying no to certifications? No. Am I saying certifications are canceled? No. They are helpful. If you have them, perfect. It'll help your profile. But if you don't have them, then you can still get started, right? The truth, guys, is that the skills are more important than the certifications. If you have a certification and you go for an interview and you can't speak on that interview, you can't show that you have the skills during that interview, you might still not get the job, regardless of how many certifications you have. Because what the employer wants is for you to do the job, right? The employer wants to know that you have the skills to actually perform on the job, to do the work that you're assigned, and help them achieve their goals. So, what's more important are the relevant skills than the certifications. In fact, you even have some cases where you get the job because you're able to showcase your skills, and then the company even pays for your certification because they just want you to have it. And you can always get started and then get certifications down the line. And if you even have other, again, if you have other certifications, great, put it on your profile. But if you don't, then you want to make sure that you showcase the skills on your resume during the interview so that you can get the call, right? And for you that you may not know, right? I shared this during my workshops, and again, the upcoming workshop, you're going to hear from more of my students. I've had several students start in cybersecurity audit and compliance without CISA, without other certs. Now, one of the students, let me see here. Let me see if I can show you. I don't want this to be too long, but this was just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. This student was actually from Canada. And he's like, he doesn't have the CISA certification. And they didn't even ask him to talk about CISA certification. For full transparency, I think this particular student might have their Security Plus certification. But throughout the interview process, when I was talking to him, he said they never even asked about any certifications. And apart from this, I have even other students that have not had CISA or any other certifications, and they were still able to get jobs. Very high salary jobs, some of them in the 80s, 90s, and also six figures. So how were they able to do that? They were able to do that because they were able to show that they had the skills that the employer needed to for the job, right? And then the certifications might be a plus or something that they get later, but you do not need it to get started. So let me pause there and see if you guys get it. How many people here now understand that the skills are what you need? Those are the primary things. Again, I'm not canceling certifications. I'm not saying don't get certifications. If you have them, perfect. They add to your profile. But if you don't have them yet, you can work on them, but also more importantly, work on the skills because that's what the employer is hiring you for. All right. So let me see in the chat if you guys get that. If you guys got it, let me know. Got it, got it, got it before we move to the second topic. Okay, Bookie said, got it. Okay. Frank, Oluwaseun, got it, got it, got it. Okay. So let's now go to myth number 2. The myth number 2 is in order for me to start a cybersecurity career, I have to be a cybersecurity pro. I need to know all things about cybersecurity. I need to know ethical hacking. I need to know how to properly secure the network and everything related to it. How many of you have thought about that before? How many of you have thought about that before? Like, oh, I need to get that into that cybersecurity field first, and then this is so not true. I think Abdullah here is saying no, you don't need to be a pro. You don't need to be a cybersecurity pro to start. Because here's the thing, you're already thinking way down the line. You have not even started. You have to be at the start line first. Get started first, right? And then you become the pro. Okay? So let's talk about this a little bit. So the myth here is I must have several years of experience. Let me say that differently. So the myth is I must have several years of experience as a cybersecurity professional before I can start making six figures. That is just not true. Because guess what? There are so IT is so broad, right? Many of you on this call, you probably researched a lot of IT roles and fields before, and IT is broad. Cybersecurity is a part of IT. Now, within IT cybersecurity, there's a field, audit and compliance, where you can absolutely make six figures without, like I said, without being a cybersecurity pro. You don't need to be the cybersecurity pro that's, setting up all the security in the system, hacking systems and things like that. You don't need to learn how to code. If you find the right niche, you can still make six figures without being a cybersecurity pro. And the field that I am in and that I teach and my students are in is cybersecurity audit and compliance. And in my workshop that's coming up, we're going to talk about this. For those of you that know my YouTube channel, you can probably watch that as well. I cover some things in there, right? But with cybersecurity audit and compliance, your role, right, is testing the systems, you're auditing the systems, and you are essentially to determine, right, if it's in compliance with various standards and laws. And this field pays very, very well. Okay, I don't want to belabor this point because this is a pop-up training, but if you're in cybersecurity audit and compliance, even without being a cybersecurity pro, you can still get a six-figure job offer. And we've had so many, but that's not the focus for today. The point here that I want to talk about is if you're in the right niche and you get those skills that we talked about, you can get six-figure job offers in cybersecurity. You don't need to go get a cybersecurity degree, which we'll talk about in a minute. You do not need to be a cybersecurity pro. Because the goal at the end of the day, again, is having the skills, the knowledge that's needed by the employer in order for you to be able to get that job, right? So this, again, this is just another testimonial. This was a student that she took this is actually a second job that she's getting. She has never worked in cybersecurity before, right? She does not have a technical degree. She does not have CISA. And she just got another six-figure offer just in February. And it's in the IT audit and compliance space. So why am I telling you this? If you know, it's about information, right? If you know the right niche within cybersecurity, so I'm speaking about cybersecurity audit and compliance, you can definitely break into the six-figure realm of your salary. You can get six-figure job offers because you have a skill that's valuable to employers. Employers want to make sure that their systems are secure. Employers want to make sure that they're meeting their compliance requirements with the different standards, so they're willing to pay for that skill. Do you guys get that? Okay, good. All right, so that's good. I see guys getting it. Awesome. So now let's go to the third myth because I want to make sure that we're breaking down these myths, okay? So let's go here. The myth number three is the third myth is that you need an IT degree. If only you guys see all the emails I get, people saying, "Oh, I have to first do my cybersecurity degree. I have to go get computer science masters. I have to go." It's not necessary because I want this thread to keep going. What do we need? I've said it a few times here. So in the chat, can you guys tell me what do you guys need to show employers? Skills. Thank you. Skills. So how many of you have a degree in a field that you're not even working in today? How many of you got a degree in one field and you're working in a total? Exactly. So if that works for other fields, why not cybersecurity audit and compliance? I'm going to tell you something. When I was at KPMG, I had a lot of my bosses in the IT audit space had accounting backgrounds, finance backgrounds. One of my senior managers then had a history background, liberal arts, and it had nothing to do with tech, but she was a senior manager because she had the skills. And of course, she had gotten promoted to that point. So the degree doesn't matter, okay? The degree doesn't matter. It's the knowledge and the skills. So don't think that you need a computer science degree, a cybersecurity degree. Don't think that you need to go back to school for a master's degree. No, you don't need all of that. What you need are the skills. And I was just sharing with you, people with degrees from any background can make six figures with cybersecurity audit and compliance. Yes, I have a technical degree, but a lot of my students don't necessarily have that and they've been successful. So, what am I saying here? Don't feel like you need to go back to school. Don't feel like you need to go back and get a cybersecurity degree. Whatever degree you have now is fine. Yes, usually companies will say maybe you need an associate's or a bachelor's. So if you have that in any field, that's probably okay. What you need to think about getting is you need the knowledge and the skills so that you can show the employer that you can do the job. Because if an employer is paying you, they're not paying for your degree. They're paying for the knowledge. So you come in, do the work, and help them achieve their business goals. And that's it. Okay, so are you guys getting the picture now? Do you guys see why you really don't need all the certifications? You do not need a technical degree, and you absolutely don't need to be a cybersecurity pro to get into the cybersecurity field. IT is broad, cybersecurity is a subset. If you want to make six figures, one of those fields is IT, cybersecurity, audit, and compliance. And it's an absolutely valuable field because companies need to comply with standards and laws, right? Companies need and want to make sure their systems are secure. So they're willing to pay top dollar for anyone that can help them in that space. Are you guys getting that? You guys got it? Yes? Okay, I see yes. Good, good, good. So hopefully this is changing your mindset and you're starting to see what's possible, what the possibilities are, because this is something that students have done over and over and over. And I tell you, you guys, I get so many emails, I get comments, people saying, "Oh, you're right, this is not true." And it's just so sad. It makes me wonder, like, they don't understand how much they're stopping themselves from progress just because they don't want to be open-minded and really learning what's possible. Okay? So let's take a look at the fourth one and then we'll wrap up shortly. The fourth myth is only FANG. So do you guys know what FANG means? Who knows that? No? Okay. So FANG is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, the top tech companies. Now, I know Facebook is now called Meta. It used to be, they haven't changed the acronym yet. This is a popular acronym in the IT space when you're talking about tech companies. When they say the FANG companies, that's what they mean. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Sometimes people think the only way I can get six figures in cybersecurity is I must work with a FANG company. How many of you have thought that before? Oh, I have to be in Silicon Valley. I have to work for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, or Google, or else I can't make six figures, even if it's entry level. How many of you have thought that before? In the chat, let's see how many of you have thought that before. You apply to Google, you go on Google and apply to Google, and then you're still not getting the jobs. And the reason I'm saying this is working in tech does not mean working in a tech company. Why? Whatever company you are in today, how many of you use computers in the company where you work today? You use computers? Everybody should be saying yes, right? So every company that has an IT department has tech jobs. Okay? So I personally I've never worked for any of these guys here. I've never worked for them. But guess what? I do pretty well. Many of my students don't work for these guys here. But guess what? They do pretty well. So don't mistake working in tech for working with a FANG company. Okay? So that's not something you should make stop. Don't stop yourself by saying, "Oh, I need to check out these tech companies. That's how I can get into tech." No, 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 no. There are hundreds, thousands of companies across the world with tech departments that have jobs for you. And all these companies, or many of them, need someone in the IT cybersecurity audit and compliance space to help them with their audit and compliance efforts for their systems. Okay, so it's very important because again, the skills are what you need. You need to be able to show that I have the skills to help you with your audit and compliance efforts in your company. And again, this is just a small list, a very small list of companies that my students work at. The big four. I think we have students in all the big four. Okay, Amazon, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Boeing, CD, Wells Fargo, the government, CDC, Farmers Insurance, Foot Locker. I need to put that one. I forgot. There's so many, right? We have Foot Locker. We have even some of the smaller CPA firms that are not the big four. Many of them are making six figures. So stop restricting the companies where you want to work might be what's stopping you because you don't see what's possible in all companies where they might need your needs in IT, cybersecurity, and compliance. Do you guys get that? Is this helping you guys? If this is helping you, can you guys let me know? I love to make sure that I'm teaching you guys things that are practical. Is this helping you guys? If it is, let me know. All right, good, good, good. So here is the summary. Because I know I told you guys 30 minutes and I've talked too long. Sorry, guys. We'll still have Q&A. Just to summarize, these are some myths that are keeping you from a six-figure cybersecurity career. And again, six figures is not just a number, it's what's possible for you. So I don't want you to think you need all the certs out there. If you have them, fine. But if you don't, you can still get started. You definitely don't need the CISA to get started in IT, cybersecurity, audit, and compliance. Don't feel like you need to be a cybersecurity professional. Because if you need to be a professional, then how do you get started? This is about that start line. Where do you start? Because sometimes people are thinking 3, 4 years down the line when they haven't actually stopped to say, where do I need to begin? Yes, you can still begin with a high salary, but you don't need to be a cybersecurity pro. You do not need to have IT degrees. Okay? You don't need to have a computer science degree, cybersecurity degree. You need, what do you need, guys? What do you guys need in the chat? Skills. I'm a teacher, guys, so that's why I keep asking. I'm talking like a teacher, sorry. Okay? And then don't think that you only need to work in fan companies. No. You can work in any company that has an IT department. Many companies out there pay very top dollar to have IT, cybersecurity, audit, and compliance pros. So hopefully you get the idea that what you need is skills. But before, remember at the beginning, what was the first thing I mentioned? When your mindset knows what's possible, then you're able to ask for what you want, right? What I want you to know is that you need to shift your mindset. Don't think your lack of certifications is stopping you. Don't think your lack of a cybersecurity degree or IT degree is stopping you. Don't think your lack of multiple years of cyber experience is stopping you. And don't think that you have to just go into the fan companies. Okay? So that's what I wanted to share today. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. But okay, someone was asking for my course. Today's class is truly purely informational, training wise. My next class starts in April. For those of you that got this email, you'll get the information when class starts. I don't want to go into the details of the class here because I really just wanted to train and share information with you guys today. Okay, so you can sign up for the workshop. The workshop is 3 days, an hour each, and it's free. Let's go into the Q&A. I'm looking at the Q&A and then we'll get how easy is it to transition from not tech role to cybersecurity? So Moturaya, I'm going to tell you nothing in life is easy, okay? Because if it's easy, everybody will be doing it. What do you think? If it was so, I don't like that word easy because sometimes that means people want to sit back and say, oh, I got it. All I need to do is say that I did this. No, you got to do the hard work. When I tell you people are making high six-figure salaries, they did the work. Like, for example, in my program, I can see the student progress as they go through my program. And there's a difference between those that get into the program and they only complete 10% of the work and those that complete 100% of the work. Those that are completing 100% of the work, you see they get results because you see they're doing the work. They're joining the coaching calls where we're talking about resumes and interview. They are putting in the work and they're practicing and they see results. So I don't like saying easy. Like I like saying possible. Is it possible to move from non-tech roles into cybersecurity, audit, and compliance? I just want you to know that I'm talking about audit and compliance. Yes, it's possible. Several students have done it, but you need to be ready to also do the work. Okay? Annie's asking, is age a factor? Age is a factor everywhere, to be honest, right? It's not just for cybersecurity. In any field you're in, unfortunately, some people may practice ageism, but this is what I tell my students. Focus on what you can control. Don't focus on what other people are doing. So if you want something bad enough, you go after it and focus on yourself and making yourself the best candidate so that even regardless of your age, they're like, man, that person is awesome. We want them. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Zenny is asking, how do you get interview prep materials? Interview prep is included in my program. I'm not going through details of the program today, but during the workshop, I'll go through the program. Students in my program get interview prep. If you're asking for something outside my program, I don't have anything outside my program. I keep my interview prep for my students because I know exactly what I've taught them, right? And I'm able to prepare them with that material. Bridget, the email you want to communicate with me, you can send me an email. So the email where you got the link, you can reply to that. I personally respond to those emails. Have I had students from customer service start a career in GRC or auditing? So I always get questions like this. People always want to give me specific backgrounds, customer service, healthcare, and they just mention different backgrounds. Okay, Ashley, and I don't want you to feel bad about this, but it's the skills, guys. Your background, you can have transferable skills from your background. Customer service, that tells me you work with customers, right? That tells me you have good communication skills. Those are some practical transferable skills that you can add to your technical skills, right? So don't let your background stop you and say, oh my God, she needs to have someone that has been in this field or else is not successful. Every single year, I get someone from a different field that I've not had before find success. So don't let that stop you. Okay. All right. Uh, can you start to apply for jobs after my course, the full course? Absolutely. I have three students now that were in my January class that applied to jobs before classes ended. Class is still in session. We end next week, right? And they already got job offers. So I always ask people to wait at least 4 or 5 weeks so they have at least enough training, but students can start whenever they want. Okay. Someone is asking, same as IT risk assessor or GRC consultant. So they're all related. IT audits, GRC, governance, risk and compliance, they're all related. They're not the same, but they're all related and you can use knowledge across them, depending on what you're interested in and your background. Okay. All right. Um, and someone said something about other countries apart from UK. I know in my January class, I think we got someone from Germany. Guys, we have people from everywhere. Germany, I have someone from Australia, I have someone from Japan, someone from I think Jordan, Qatar. So because maybe I should have added this as a myth. It's not your location, guys. It's not your location. You can take the knowledge and the skills and apply because the location is not determining what your skills are. Do you guys get that? Hopefully, this is a good one. I'll add this next time. Different countries might have some different standards, but the foundational principles of auditing are cross border, right? When you're testing passwords, it doesn't matter if the password isn't, this computer is in the US, in Germany, in UK, in Australia, they want to know whether your passwords are set up correctly. Okay. So I want you to make sure that you're not thinking your location is a challenge. Of course, you'll have to research your location to better understand what's it called? The available jobs there. But I have students from across the globe, right? And they're all telling me the same thing. This is valuable information. I can use it. Okay. All right, so thanks everybody. I'm going to let you guys go. In the chat and in the YouTube channel, I'll make sure I put the link as well. But you guys can start registering for the audit workshop. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mardine. I see you. You guys have a great rest of the day. Thanks, Ashley. And we'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions, just reply to my emails that I send you guys emails from, and I'll respond to you. Thank you, guys.